All right, big man. Today is Monday. It's August 2nd. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Snake Draft Monday. Our guest on Zoom is Kelly Keegs. Kelly, how are you?
I'm doing great, Eddie. How are you?
Doing good. This topic, I mean, I don't know why, but it popped in my brain a couple weeks ago, and you were the first person that popped in my head after it. So
I'm so happy to hear that. Honestly, I've been waiting for the invite. This is a perfect topic for me.
Perfect. And it's just and this is going to be great for our, like late 20s, 30s female audience. Like I feel like they'll appreciate this a lot. Kelly, this is yours to win, I would say. Even though
You're crossed.
we all live. We know the
Yeah.
names. We know the names. I don't think this is a layup. We're gonna.
I think we all have older sisters too. Do you have older sisters?
I do.
Yeah. So like that helps us, I guess.
That I was trying to like picture the posters that were hanging in my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And the magazines.
Yeah, in the magazines. Yep.
The team opera. So, today is the 90s Heartthrob draft. Male,
All guys.
all dudes.
So shout out Jennifer Love Hewitt. We can't pick.
Yeah,
pick.
but
Yeah,
you know what? I think maybe we'll do that at some point too. So
That's gonna be a bonk.
that
That's a
would go
big
off the
bonk
rails.
episode.
But
would go off the
and
rails.
can I say this too? I feel like listen, we were all like, how old are you, Kelly?
30.
30, yeah, 30, and you guys
Kind
are
of
in your 30s
rude
too.
to ask a woman that, but okay.
So no, I knew she was. I mean, she's still the youngest person on the podcast. So
Yeah, hell yeah, that's
That's all
fine.
that
As long
matters.
after I'm 30, then I don't want to tell anybody anymore. 30, I feel like I can still tell people.
yes, I'm
Okay.
32. It's fine. So all right. So I feel like another thing I want to say is we were all young when these people were young, so it's not weird.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Because you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like people are going
we
to.
don't want another incident where it's like Dave is attracted to the baby Nala. It was the adult Nala.
I was also 6 years old when the Lion King came out.
So you could
it
be
was-
attracted to the baby
yes,
now,
but
if
he's-
you want.
but he's not.
Yeah.
but I'm not anymore. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
At the time I was.
Anymore.
Yes.
That's important, though. It really is. You know, it's like there's so many of these. I don't know, like whatever. You'd watch these shows and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
she was. I loved her.
Yeah, like you could have a crush on Topanga back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I very much did.
Correct.
All right. So the 90s Heartthrob male draft. Carl, he's running a little late, so we'll see when he walks in. Hopefully, he doesn't get hit with a forfeited pick, but we'll see.
Be a shame.
Let's do the order right now.
Can I make a suggestion?
What's
Prior
your
going into
suggestion?
that, nobody pick the first pick
Oh, because you want to have
because
him
you're
forfeit.
automatically getting the first pick if you pick two. So, I mean, strategy
That's
for
some
all of us.
strategy. Okay.
How about that? White Sox Dave using his brain early.
That's a big brain right here.
you just
like
won the
it.
brain off for
Again.
the day.
Again.
Against everybody.
Good for you,
Round
Dave.
robin brain off, and you won.
There we go.
Happy for you. All right. Kelly, our social media guy, Danny, he has a number 1 through 5 behind his back. What is it?
I'm gonna say 4.
4. It is 4. So you have your pick.
Wow. Damn. Lucky as hell.
Kelly. Yeah.
Do you want 2 through 5?
I'm gonna pick first. I think I have a
you're
strong
picking
number
second.
1.
So you're picking second.
Second.
Kelly, use your brain. Come on.
Is that the thing? Is that what's happening?
Well,
you
he
gotta
wants.
explain.
Carl-
So if
Carl
Carl's
will
not here
forfeit
by
the
his pick,
pick.
he's going to forfeit it.
Right. So he gets
Oh,
nothing.
I see. Okay, then yes.
We should
All right.
give him like Screech
All
or
right. So
something
he'll
off the
take.
top.
He'll take.
yeah.
All right. So Kelly will be second. Chief 1 through 4.
1.
Dave
3.
2. I'll take. But here's where strategy comes. I could take 1, and I could take like who I think is the best. So Kelly doesn't
But-
take him.
Don't.
I know.
Be a team
for,
player,
for,
Ed.
for the sake of everybody here, I'll take number 3 overall. Okay. 1 or 2, Chief, or 1 through 3, Chief.
2. I'll take the 5th spot.
All right.
I'll take the 4th spot.
All right. There you go.
All right. So Carl's the first pick. Carl, to you.
Carl, 1990s teen heartthrobs.
Well, he's still got a
Let's
second here.
pass
so
the mic.
The draft order is
The draft
Carl,
started
Kelly,
at
Eddie,
9 a.m.,
Eddie,
Ed.
White Sox Dave, Chief. Before we get started, we do want to say that we have some words here from our friends at Miller Lite. Dave, let's talk about Miller Lite here for a second.
So we were out in Dubuque, Iowa at the Field of Dreams this weekend, and we had Miller Lite a plentiful on that beautiful, that mecca of baseball. It was there's like no shade there at all. So you need to in the middle of August in Iowa, corn country, you're sweating, you need rehydration, and Miller Lite came to the rescue multiple times.
That's great. And what's great about that, even if you're in Dubuque, Iowa, it's always there for you.
It doesn't matter.
It's not when you drink one of these fancy little seltzers. You got to worry about if the liquor store has
they're
it.
real Americans out
Yes.
there, and they're drinking Miller Lite, not white can.
So that's great. The barn burner, I'm sure there was a lot of Miller Lite to be had. So yeah, next time you're getting ready to enjoy cold ones with your crew, go to MillerLite.com/redline to find the delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. Like I said, it's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. All right, Carl, you're on the clock.
Carl.
It's
It's Carl.
Forfeited pick. All right, Dave, do you want to be Carl?
All right. Action. 1990s teen heartthrob draft. Kelly, I'm sure you were around for the 1990s and you had your favorite person. I'm going to go with Screech from Boy Meets World. Screech. Come on down. Have a Miller Lite.
I feel dirty doing this because he's like, you got to say facts. Like, he's good at these. And I don't know, he's already at a disadvantage.
Well, he's got Screech. I think Screech
I mean,
is a
the
handsome
forfeit's
fella.
forfeit. I made you
Yeah,
forfeit, and it's
right.
the same situation where we're recording the day of, so we need to turn this around quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is really like nothing we can do.
It's a
bro.
time
Sorry.
crunch.
Yeah, but all right, Carl forfeit. So
I want him to have Screech.
it is what it is. Should we give?
Actually, no. Put the forfeit thing. I don't trust the lemmings in the voting.
You think the
populace.
No, because he will make a rallying cry for Screech.
I know, that's exactly
and people
it.
will be screeching.
Yeah. Screeching for Screech.
All right, so he's got a forfeit.
Forfeit.
Sorry, Carl, but we'll see you soon. Kelly, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I think the most obvious choice of all time, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep. See, okay, here's my thing on this.
Fuck, see, now I'm kind of mad because I wanted Leo, Chief.
The show is better for it.
That's fine. The show is better for it, Ed. Like,
Everyone knew he was getting picked.
But here's my...
he was late 90s, and he's still so famous today. Like, he's the A-list of the A-list. That I don't really consider him 1990s. Like, I'm more...
No, he's 90s for sure.
I mean, Titanic came out in 97, and that was, like, his first big hit outside of, like... I know when he played the handicap kid in What's It Called?
What's Eating Gilbert
Yeah,
Grape.
of course.
He was
Gilbert
also
Grape,
on the sitcom Family...
Matters?
no,
Yeah,
with...
well, that's what I'm saying. He was on Growing Pains.
Growing
Let
Pains,
Kelly, let
Growing
Kelly
Pains. Okay,
explain
yeah.
her pick.
Yeah.
Let Kelly explain her pick here.
I'll explain my pick. I think
Sorry,
that
Kelly.
Leonardo DiCaprio was one of the first like male people I ever saw that made me think like, oh wow, I'm in love. Like it was like he's obviously so handsome and he's so romantic, but he captured me with romance during Titanic. I was in the first grade. I remember going to class and I had Titanic and it was on like 2 VHS tapes because it couldn't fit on one.
Yep.
And I remember just like running the first tape into the fucking ground because that was all the romance. Like the second tape was like the death and destruction. The first half was just all the romance, just me and Leo like in my dreams.
Yeah.
Which tape were the tits on?
I think the second tape.
I think
Yeah, I think
that's
it
what I
was
was gonna
tape two.
say. I think
Very
I
beginning,
ran the
very
second
beginning
tape
of
in
the
the
second
ground
tape.
because I liked watching that guy jump off the back of the boat and hit the propeller and just go flying into the
And
ocean.
he's doing, like, triple axles. Yeah.
I like that, and then the tits. So I think I was the second. We could have just split the DVD or the VHS. Yeah.
No, see, honestly, though, I'm not lying. I really remember him most as a heartthrob from Growing Pains.
Growing Pains.
Yes.
He was in a Western too, The Quick and the Dead. I think that's the name of it.
Okay, I take it
Was
back
he?
then.
Yeah, and then The Beach. I think The Beach was in the 90s too.
And you know a weird thing about young Leo? Like, I almost feel like old Leo didn't live up to him because he was such like a gorgeous heartthrob.
Well, now he just smokes like 8 packs a day and his face is all beat up because he knows he doesn't have to look it.
And
doesn't give a shit.
I mean, he just runs through like once the model, like the supermodels, the most beautiful women in the world, they turn 25, he like casts them aside. So I think he's
Yeah.
still doing.
Yeah,
fine.
he's Dave. There's definitely like Basketball Diaries.
You
one
know
of my
what?
favorite
I
movies.
take everything I said back. I just think of him more now than then, I guess.
Fair.
If
Which,
anything.
for 1990s heartthrobs, I'm thinking guys that like peaked in the 90s, and then you don't hear about them much today. That was what
That's
came to
fair.
my mind.
Okay.
Great pick, Leonardo DiCaprio. No surprise, I was going to take him too.
So was
I mean,
I.
I'll just say in the same vein, superstar, boy bands ruled the '90s. I'm up. I gotta go with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, that was the only.
I think
yeah.
those are the clear top two.
Yep.
Mickey
Very
Mouse
good
Club, man. I mean, this is the whole Britney thing. It was. You feel good if you take the hottest member in the band, and that's
Absolutely.
what he was. Wilder, would you say, or do you think that changed now, or do you think it was always JT?
So I think that JT was definitely the most charismatic guy to watch. I think that JC Chazé was definitely more popular at the time, but then when Justin kind of broke off on his own, he became a whole nother level. Like he left them all in the dust, and we didn't he just cut his hair basically, and everyone was like, "Holy shit, Justin Timberlake is so hot." But before that, it was he wasn't necessarily gunning for first.
Yeah, I could hear you on that. Yeah, man, JT. I don't know.
I mean, great pick.
Yeah,
I mean, he's one of those guys that's just awesome at everything. You know, like he's supposedly like a scratch golfer. He was like a pretty.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like
he
pretty,
can shoot a basketball and everything.
He plays in that like Tahoe Celebrity Pro-Am thing. He was always like one of the top guys. I'm pretty sure I have that right. I know he's a good golfer, but yeah, like he's a good basketball player. He can dance, he can sing, he can act. Like that guy just does everything.
What was the fucking Alpha? Have you guys seen Alpha Dog?
No,
It's
Yes, my favorite.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie, and I thought he in that movie, Alpha Dog, and then The Social Network, he is a fucking amazing actor. Amazing actor.
do you think he's just, like he doesn't act that much anymore?
No,
He
I know.
and
He just doesn't
make
like
music. Do you think he's just like
He's like a
bored?
dude that goes up there and he's like, "Oh, I'll pitch today, and I'll go and like paint 95 and like go 6 strong."
Yeah.
Like it's I kind of hate him, but at the same time, like I absolutely fucking love him.
Yep. Great.
Dave,
Yep.
I was just gonna say he plays a great like jerk kind of. I feel like
Like
in
little
Alpha Dog
heel.
and in Social Network, he's kind of a jerk. Even in like in Friends with Benefits with Mila Kunis, he's like kind of a fuckboy jerk. Like he's one of those. He's very good at that role.
I think he's in Bad Teacher with Cameron Diaz. He has a great role in that. He's really funny. Yeah, he's good, man. He's good. And I think like the weird thing about him too is I think he's opposite of Leo. I think he got hotter. Like, right? He's definitely objectively more attractive now than he was when he was a teeny bopper, right? No?
I mean,
agree.
I don't know. That's for Kelly to answer, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, he never
I think so for sure. Yeah, definitely.
got like less hot, I would say.
All right. JT is my pick. White Sox, Dave, you're up.
Love both of those picks. Love both of those people. But like I said, I'm thinking of guys that like peaked and were at their like the absolute mountaintop in the 90s. I'm going Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
JTT.
JTT.
Good one. Good one.
Simba.
What else we got, Ed?
What else was he in? Home Improvement.
Yeah, Home Improvement, of
That's
course.
what I think.
Yeah, that's
what
what.
else
Yeah.
Besides that,
Those
those are the two, right?
He did some movies. He
Yeah,
like
he
Man
did.
of the House.
Like his last film credit was Through the Mabius Strip. He was Prince Regis or something. It looks like it was a cartoon. But I don't know, like when I think of like hot dudes from the 90s that are totally teenagers when I was a teenager, not when I'm 32 years old, I think of Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
It's a good
He
pick.
was-
It's very 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I want the voters to understand that we're talking about the 1990s, not anything 2000 and beyond.
Correct.
So you're not allowed to think of of Justin Timberlake in anything but
So,
It's
NSYNC.
impossible.
good. It should
That's
be.
like it. No, I'm saying like you can't. Like people aren't going to vote that way.
Well, that's how they should be voting. I want
You
to
want
drive
frosted,
that point home.
You want frosted.
Yes,
tips.
exactly.
all right.
JT.
Carl
Carl
has
has
joined
arrived.
us. He's joined us. How are you?
Had a great weekend in Iowa.
Got the times mixed up?
No.
Today, I thought you did.
Yeah, the time zones?
Yeah.
I mean, there is no time zones. I was in Central Time.
No, you thought you the times mixed up today.
Yeah, I thought we were 10. What time is it? It's 9:15. What round is it?
It's still the first. You
First
only lost
round.
one pick.
Perfect.
So not bad. When Dave forfeited, the only time
He lost
this other
two, I
happened,
think.
he lost 2 picks.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you're in a better spot than Dave. Kelly, JTT.
I think JGT is a good one. Did you guys see the pic of him recently, like cheaping a cigarette? Like that,
No, I didn't.
that brought me down to earth.
Is he? What is?
Oh,
Has he done
shit.
anything?
Last thing
He
he
might
was
have
in was
Jewel,
2005,
actually.
and he was in 4 episodes of Last Man Standing in 2013 through 15. But no, it looks like he basically quit acting or
Does he
fizzled out
is
or
he
whatever.
Just living on residuals.
Probably.
Yeah, I bet you
Sorry,
those Lion
it's
King
a,
residuals are huge.
It was
yeah.
a jewel. He's got a jewel, a Mets hat, and a like weird sunglasses. But he's chilling right now, JTT.
I also feel like he never grew. Like I feel like he just aged. Like however height he was when he was 13 on Home Improvement, like that was it.
100%.
That's pretty funny. Page 6. He was spotted walking his 2 dogs, checking his phone, and smoking a vape all at the same time. All right, JTT. There you go.
That's all right.
He's the rare heartthrob from the 90s where actually wasn't really the star of the show at all. He kind of shared even a secondary third. You can even say he was like a third level guy on Home Improvement. That's all Tim Allen. That's Tim Allen. That's fucking Al Bundy. That's Wilson. You got Brad. I mean, he really had to share the spotlight for 22 minutes a week, and even so, he fucking did it.
He had the baby role. People like the baby role is usually written pretty well. Some good one-liners, and it helped them out, I think. And
What's the brother was? I feel like that brother and the brother from Step by Step are interchangeable. The third one, the nerdy one.
I forget what his name was. You just
I
remember
forget his name.
Brad,
Yeah, you just
I can't
remember
even
Brad,
picture
right?
the Step by Step.
It's not Mark, is it?
Yeah, I think it was. It was Mark.
Oh, look at me.
Yeah, it was Mark. Good call there, Carl.
All right, Jonathan Taylor Thomas off the board. Chief, you are up.
All right, I'm staying kind of Dave's mode, where like I know there are people who are in the 90s who are still like even megastars now. Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
I remember girls just absolutely sweating over that guy. She's All That, great movie. Summer
Fucking love
Catch.
that movie.
What?
I fucking love
She's All That. Awesome movie. Awesome. Take her glasses off. She's a 10. And but yeah, I think Freddie Prinze Jr. was like, I remember being like 6th, 7th grade, and girls just like if you open up a girl's locker, his face was on it. Like there was probably 300 pictures in every school, in every locker of Freddie Prinze Jr.
See, this is the first one where I'm kind of struggling with because I think it's a good pick, but I don't know if it's a great pick, and I don't know if that's because of
I think
I
it's
know
a great
how he
pick.
is now or what. You know, like am I getting
I'll
clouded
be
by
honest,
that?
he would have been my next pick. He was like, he would have been first if not for Leo. Like he is
There
like,
you
you
go.
think 90s heartthrob, the first person that comes to my mind at least is Freddie Prinze Jr.
Well, Leo went first.
Yeah. So here's the order right now, Carl. Forfeit for you. There was talk of possibly tossing you Screech, but we'll keep you at forfeit for now. Kelly drafted Leo. I took JT, and then Dave took Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
You took Justin Timberlake.
Yeah. Mickey Mouse
90s.
Club. Yeah.
Okay.
Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
But you
Heart-
didn't even remember
Heartthrob.
that. There's no way.
Heartthrob.
In sync.
Yeah,
NSYNC
that's
was there,
in
too.
sync. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Heartthrob.
remember JT on
Yeah, just
the Mickey Mouse
crushing
Club.
pussy in the 90s, JT.
Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Heartthrob.
I hated Justin Timberlake in the 90s because he was like so much cooler than me. And now
I
that
hated
he's
all
still,
the boy bands in the 90s,
yeah.
and then like 10 years later, I'm like, they were awesome.
They were awesome, yeah.
Freddie Prinze, I loved. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Another
Yep.
one. I feel like I'm there.
those
where
So
like-
Slash
Freddie
movies.
Prinze Jr.,
Oh, yeah.
we're still in the first round.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So Chief's
Yeah.
got the 5th pick, so he's about to wrap around. But Freddie Prinze, what else? I mean, I feel like he died after Scooby Doo.
that was probably the end.
So they did the final season of 24, which is one of my favorite shows ever, and he was supposed to be like the starring guest of that season, and he was so bad in it. Like the people hated him so much that they just wrote him off halfway through. Like they rewrote the ending.
It
He
kind of
was
makes
so
me
tough.
sad.
That's tough.
Yeah. They just killed him or something. I forget exactly what happened, but he was done
Yeah.
after like 4 or 5 episodes.
And people were always dying in that show.
Yeah. Well,
He's got a
people
pretty interesting life too. He was like a writer for the WWE.
die. No shit. I
he's
did not know that.
He's
That's
like
cool.
a big wrestling guy, so he's worked for them for years,
That's awesome.
like on and off.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Freddie Prinze
Like
Jr.
after his?
That's got to be tough
Yeah.
to write for
Uh-huh.
too.
Oh yeah, like I'm telling you, like he wrote for them for years. He's like a big wrestling guy, and and he's still married to Sarah Michelle
Sarah
Gellar.
Michelle
I think.
Gellar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who I know she doesn't count since she is a female, but she would have been number 1 if this was the
Well,
opposite.
Dave, I
way.
told you we might do that someday, so you just.
Well,
took your hand.
I didn't tip my hand.
I think you did.
I didn't. Maybe I'm throwing you off the scent.
All right, fine.
Big brain move.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Chief, you're up again.
All right, I'm taking Sean Hunter. I had to look up his real name. It's Ryder Strong. But from Boy
Yeah.
Meets World, like he was like the cool leather jacket, kind of like bad boy, and then who was best friends with like the nerd, Corey. And I always wanted to have a cool bad boy friend like that. I was just the nerd, so I always kind of like thought Sean Hunter was cool. And I feel like girls like early 90s, like that was like maybe their first crush, like that guy, because we're all watching. I think that was a TJF show, and I feel like that was like a middle school maybe even a little bit younger girls love Sean Hunter.
Great pick.
It's a really good one.
I like the pick, Chief.
Okay,
Great
2
pick.
for 2.
I was really hoping. Sorry, are we done with Chiefs?
Yeah.
I was really hoping that this guy didn't get picked because I think Kelly will approve this, and I know if Kelly approves my pick, then we're good. I'm going with Ryan Phillippe. Thank you.
that was
I
a
knew
good
it.
line,
I knew
Dave.
it. He's like the
I
hottest guy
love
ever. And
him.
Cruel Intentions is one of my favorite movies ever.
Me too.
I love that movie. He is fucking smoking hot
He is
Bonk me to
maybe
death.
the most hateable character of all time
in that movie. But that's
yeah.
how you know he dominated that movie.
Yeah.
And in the movie Crash, he's a cop. Fantastic role in that movie. Which is an underrated great movie, by the way.
He did marry
Did
Reese
win Best
Witherspoon.
Picture.
Did it win Best Picture?
Yeah.
Well, I take it back. But people don't talk about it like one of the all-time greats. I think it's a absolutely A-plus movie.
What is that? Sorry.
Crash.
Okay.
It's
I've actually
with
never seen it.
It's like one of those movies where like everyone has a storyline and then they all tie together at the end, but they don't really see each other. I don't know.
Crash
It's a
is great.
fucking great movie. But Ryan Phillippe, like he reeks 90 heartthrob.
What are you laughing
He
at?
does. He also was in. He was in. I know what you did last
Yep,
summer with our boys Freddie Prinze and
Yep.
Sarah Michelle Gellar and that whole crew.
And that's how
He-
if you're like a starring role in a 90s slasher movie, you were a 90s heartthrob.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
He played such an asshole in that movie too.
Yeah. The worst.
yeah.
He was
He's
such
so
a dick. Got smoked by a car.
I've seen him yucking it up on Twitter a bunch of times with like Barstool people. So I think he might read the site a little bit.
Well, he's been on.
He's been on KFC Radio a few times. He's like
Okay.
he's divorced. Like he and Reese Witherspoon are divorced, and he started dating. Like he really lives, I think, in like Dewey Beach. Like he lives in Dewey Beach, Delaware, and just kind of like hooks up with girls right now. Like he's
What a
a little
life.
bit, a little
What a
bit
life.
weird, but I don't know.
Dewey,
Not so bad for me, I guess.
sorry, I didn't. Did anybody have anything else on Right or Strong? I feel like we glossed over that.
I mean, it's
No.
it's such a layup
No.
pick.
Yeah.
It had to be a first
Okay, all
rounder.
right.
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah.
make sure. Well, it was a second rounder.
Oh, second rounder.
But Right
First
or
round
Strong.
value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ryan Phillippe, good pick, Dave. I think he's a second rounder for sure. All right, it's to me. Listen, this was kind of out of my range, but still, this is one of those people you always saw. He was all over the magazines, and he was everywhere, and he's still kind of everywhere. To be honest, I'm going to go with Mario Lopez. Saved by the Bell, Slater. He was, like I said, he was a little before like what I remember,
Yep.
but he was still big time.
So, well, okay.
What's wrong? You don't like Mario Lopez?
He's fine, but like if I were gonna pick a Saved by the Bell character, I don't think he would be.
You would have picked him. It's a toss up.
Yeah.
It's a toss up for
Yeah.
sure. But
He's got that nice strong jawline.
the
How-looking dude.
The dimples. I also feel like he might be the hardest working person in showbiz.
because
Like,
he's still all
he
over
just
the place.
does everything. He did like he used to even like the 93.9 the station that goes all Christmas music 24 hours a day. He does he like hosts a couple hours of that. Like he
Oh,
just
really?
like he does like every time you turn on the TV, like there's a 1 in 10 chance you're gonna see Mario Lopez.
Yeah, and the other guy's kind of a candy ass looking guy. Like Mario Lopez is like he put him in the spandex.
Well,
Like,
they
he
made
had a
him the
look.
athlete. They made him the athlete.
He had a
Yeah.
look. So yeah, Mario Lopez is my pick.
I loved that show.
It's a really good pick.
Kelly, you're up.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to be a little strategic here. I have a lot of people on here that are like really big stars now. I feel like that's becoming a little bit of a controversy, but they were equally big stars at this time. I'm going to go Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yep.
Good vibrations. Dancing
Yeah.
around with his six pack in the music video.
You don't
I
like
think that's
that
a
one?
I
great
mean, Mark
pick.
Wahlberg sucks.
I think he sucks too.
I hate
yeah.
him as a person.
He's
Mark
a
Wahlberg
shit actor.
sucks.
You told me you love
I
Mark
love
Wahlberg.
him. Why does
Me?
he suck, Carl? What's your problem?
Mark Wahlberg is just such an overrated actor. Now, he's super successful. His movies are entertaining. His
Yes.
characters are funny. Like, I have no problem with the products he puts out there, generally speaking. I get it. Big box office star. And if it was fucking easy, a bunch of other people would do it. I just fucking can't stand that guy.
I think he stinks. He stinks at acting.
See, like,
But his movies are great.
He's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
But I just know, I'm like, that fucking guy But
Yeah.
that said, I do think he's gotten so much better as the years go by. Like, it seems like each role gets better and better.
As long as he plays like a recovering drug addict from Boston, he kills it.
There was a while there, Four Brothers, Shooter. It was just
Fighter.
like, how much vigilante justice can one man deliver in one period of time?
And that's why I hate him, is because he had the quote about one of the planes in 9/11 that if I was on the plane, it wouldn't
Biggest
have gone,
hard-on
it
of
wouldn't
all
have gone down like that.
Biggest
Like he's
hard-on.
gonna disarm 4 or 5 terrorists, get in the cockpit and land the plane himself. Fuck that guy.
He is also the lead role of what I think is the worst movie of all time. The Happening. Who's seen it?
Never seen it.
The
I've-
absolute worst movie to ever. And it's so fucking bad that I'll watch it every time it's on TV. It's the absolute fucking biggest piece of shit movie I've ever seen.
It's bad.
It is horrifically bad.
What's it about?
It's about like the concept's kind of cool. It's a M Night Shyamalan movie, where the trees, like as a defense mechanism, they evolve to the point where they like give out toxic fumes that make people kill themselves because all the people in the world are, with all the pollution and shit, are killing the trees. So everybody just starts killing themselves, like when they breathe in the air. And every time the wind shifts, like people will see the flags and they'll like run the opposite direction. It's fucking horrible. And then all of a sudden it just stops, and people like stop killing themselves. It's
It is
bad.
largely considered one of the worst movies ever made. Kelly, okay, so I did give Mark Wahlberg a little bit of the business for myself. I mean, I want to be fair. Like, again, I understand this guy is like a huge megastar. This is more just like a personal taste thing where it's just like, come on, dude. But from your perspective, like, what kind of gets you going about Mark Wahlberg?
Well, I have questions for you guys. Do you guys think that you hate Mark Wahlberg because he's like from Boston, not from Chicago? Like, what if you were from Chicago doing all
I
this same
think
shit?
if I had never read that quote, I would be like,
Yeah.
he's fine.
I think here's the thing though. Even our Boston people don't like love him. You know, like
Which
I don't
says a
see
lot.
like Dave or
True.
like RA or like Fights like loving Wahlberg either. So I would say maybe not. But you do bring up a good point. Don't get me wrong. You certainly bring up a good point.
I think that he is very good at what he does. I think you're right about that. He has a very specific lane that he needs to stay in. I think he's very good at it. I think he's funny. I think he's kind of just like doesn't give a fuck. I like that about him. I think he's cool. I know that I know my mom specifically is fucking obsessed with him. And then so I was a little young for like the Funky Bunch itself, but I know that like the Funky Bunch like pandemonia was crazy. So I stand by my choice. I think it's a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, he was a heartthrob. So.
And the Calvin Klein ads. He did the Calvin Klein ads. I mean, forget.
Mm-hmm.
Iconic.
How's he looking underwear?
Looks amazing in underwear. Even now, he looks amazing in underwear.
Yeah, he was a smoke.
Yeah.
For sure.
Look up his picture in his Calvins. Look up the young Mark Wahlberg Calvin Klein ad. Look it up right now.
Yeah, it
Tell me
looks
what you
good.
think about Mark Wahlberg.
Looks good. How about Donnie? Donnie girl or what?
Donnie's all right.
I like Donnie.
I like
skew
Donnie
more
better.
Mark.
So do I.
Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
He was great.
A lot of people like Donnie more. I skew more Mark. I think Mark's like a little funnier.
All right.
Has everyone had a
Donnie's
Wahlburger?
stupid for me.
Depends
I
what
had
kind
it
of
in Vegas.
personality Kelly's under for Donnie or Mark.
Yeah, very much so.
All right, Carl, you're up.
Well, I'm very, very happy the doctor's still on the board. I am taking George Clooney. George Clooney is a transcendent heartthrob that touched every single generation in the 90s. There were old women that loved George Clooney. There were young girls that loved George Clooney. George Clooney, to me, is the perfect mix of handsome, sex, sophistication, and the role he played on TV added to it, because who doesn't love a fucking doctor? He's like, that's an iconic character, name and face, and it was born in the 90s. I feel like George Clooney, to me, is a 1-1 pick, and I get him here in the second round. George Clooney.
So, George, he's the oldest one probably on the board right now, right?
I was thinking more teen, but
But I
that
mean,
wasn't specified
it's
in the group chat.
it's inarguable.
He's handsome.
Oh,
Yes,
he's the most
exactly.
handsome man on earth.
Yeah.
Handsome, yeah. ER. He had ER, I think,
Yep.
was in the 90s.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the difference between hot and handsome? Because Kelly, would you consider him hot?
I think people are more liberal with handsome. They'll be like, oh, he's handsome.
Yeah, I would.
It's kind of
I
like a
wouldn't say.
backhanded compliment, I feel.
I would say handsome. He's one of those guys where it's like, oh, he's so handsome. Like you say that about him. I wouldn't be like, damn, George Clooney is so hot. Like I'd be like, oh, handsome, like debonair, gentleman. Like he's that kind of vibe for me.
Can you be both? Hot and
You
handsome.
can be both. You can be
Is
both,
he
I think.
both?
But he's so overpoweringly like handsome man that I don't necessarily think of him as like, ooh, like rough and rugged hot guy. Like I feel like he's not really interchangeable there.
I feel like I could look at a picture of him and smell him. Like he just is
What
Yeah.
do you think he smells like?
It's like
I bet.
wood. It's like a cedar. It's like a with a pine maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Le Labo scent for sure.
I like that. Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of him now because it's hard for me to picture him
He's
without the
still
gray
fucking
now.
smoking
You know,
Yeah.
Is he better looking now or
Now
back
he's-
then, Kelly?
Now he's like salt and pepper hot, you know. Like now he's got the gray hair. He's very established. He's like a billionaire with the tequila. Like
Yeah.
he's a different kind of hot now.
He's also 60 years old, which is just
Yeah.
Fuck
absurd.
him.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
That is crazy. That is crazy. I don't think. I guess he does look. Do you guys think he looks 60? I think the gray hair
No.
throws me off.
I don't think
60
he looks,
sounds right.
You think so?
I
would-
mean, it doesn't
but,
shock me at all.
If like Jack Nicholson's like 85, like then he sounds about 60.
Yeah.
but does he? If you saw a picture of him, you would not be like, "Oh, that guy's in his 60s." Just looks alone. Do you know he was like a very good high school basketball player?
Did not.
No,
Really?
I always appreciate finding out that these athletes are
fun
just great
facts.
at everything when I suck at everything. So thanks for saying that.
All right, George Clooney. Carl, you're up again.
All right, Eddie, you kind of fucked up. I mean, no disrespect to Mario Lopez, he's big time, extra, extra. But the plays Mark Paul Gosselaar. It has to be. Give me Zach. Give me the fucking bad boy. The voice behind the fucking pinnacle of the 90s. Saved by the Bell. I want
Freeze.
the hair. I want the shirt unbuttoned with the jazzy, stylish undershirt. I want the sexual tension with Kelly. I want Zach.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
It had to be drafted somewhere.
Yeah.
Where that is right now, I'm perfectly content with that.
To me, I have our number one teen 90s character, and I have the all-time Silver Fox on the board. Thank you.
the all-time silver fox for sure, but you're not getting the silver fox.
Yeah.
I know. I'm getting the fucking legend that started it. The guy that literally. Well, I don't want to get back to George.
So you would have went with him over Lopez, you said, right, Chief?
I think he's more iconic. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think like he's the first person you think about when you think of Saved by the Bell, and him and Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Yeah,
Like
and like
that
I
was the
said,
show.
I didn't. I was too young to watch it really. So
Yeah. I
never
maybe
got
that's
into
where
it
I kind of
really, yeah.
crossed up. But
And like he was like, you're right though. Like Zach was the pretty boy, you know. Like he didn't like do the sports. He was just the guy that got the girls, and I always kind of resented guys like that.
oh yeah, why is that?
Because I didn't get the girls, obviously.
No, I mean that's a hell of a third rounder.
Yeah,
I feel like he should have went higher, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Probably.
I mean,
I would
he
probably
should've
have him ahead of Wahlberg. I would have him ahead of Wahlberg and Phillippe, I would say.
Kelly.
Right.
I'm maybe ahead of Wahlberg. I think that Zach Morris is a little played out. I feel like everybody last year Zach Morris was like the hotness, and so I'm kind of, to me, I'm like whatever. I'm a little bored of him. He had like a big resurgence, I feel.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because then they do they relaunch that show on some platform.
Something like that. Yeah. They did some shit. I think they had like a reunion or something.
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't know.
that's
I
it.
forget what they did, but I've been hearing his name a lot, so I kind of was like, But it's a good pick.
You're out on him. Yeah, it is a good pick. All right, Kelly, you're up again.
All right. I'm struggling between two. I think I'm going to pick John Stamos.
That was going to be my next one.
That
Actually probably should have been in the first round.
probably.
I can't believe I didn't pick him before Mark Wahlberg, honestly.
I mean, he's the hottest dude of all time.
Yeah.
He might be. He might be.
amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why I was like blanking on him until like it came to me like while Carl was talking about Zach Morris. So he should have been drafted much
Do you
higher.
regret taking Freddie Prinze over?
No, I
John
think
Stamos?
I should have taken Stamos instead of Hunter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was in my post-college years, and it was like those years when you're hanging out in groups of like 7 to 9 guys on a consistent basis. You're going to pregames, and then there's large groups of girls coming over for pregames and stuff. And there was a girl that entered into our social circle through like a friend from college or something, And there was like a story that came out during like one of the first pre-games where it was like, yeah, my mom was living in California in the 80s and she used to fuck John Stamos right before she met my dad. And I'm not joking. All the guys in the group like were like, yo, that's a girl whose mom used to fuck John Stamos. And it was like a thing. Like we actually really were like, did you hear that? And like valued that. We didn't hang out for like years. It was probably like a fall or something while her friend was fucking some other guy. But when she'd come around and be like, that's the girl, like we respected where she walked because if John Stamos laid pipe on her mom.
Would you want that?
My mom?
No, well, if you were like, no. If you were married to someone and they're like, yeah, I banged John Stamos before we got married.
I don't want to know that.
I don't want to know that.
Because
if it's like a epic story, like yeah, sure. If it's like a really bad thing you want to forget, but if it's a good story, sure.
Because you know that if she could go back in time and just stay with John Stamos, she would. She's only with you because John Stamos threw her aside.
Yeah, exactly.
So then it's like I'm the scraps of the guy who didn't want my wife. No.
How cocky are you? Like Kelly, how cocky would you be if you fucked John Stamos?
I'd be insufferable. You wouldn't be able to be around me. Like it's all I would talk about, honestly. But really though, if I'm thinking about it, I would like to marry somebody who was like very secure in our relationship and wouldn't worry about John Stamos to the point that we could like make jokes about it. Like I would have to talk about it the rest of my life. So whoever I'd marry, I'd be like, like you're not John Stamos. Like I'd have to make a joke about it.
Yeah, have to marry like John Hamm. Like that would be the only guy. Well, I've got a monster dick. I bet you my dick's bigger than John Stamos. That's the only guy who could be fine with that, I think.
Kelly, you're going to be single for life if that's your expectation. You're going to die alone.
What do you mean, John Hamm?
I mean, like if someone on John Hamm's level, if that's your expectation.
That's not what she said.
That's exactly what she said.
Those are words put in my mouth. Dave, that was rude, number one.
I mean, I'm speaking sincerely. Like
no, obviously that's what I'm saying. It needs to be somebody who's like very, very comfortable with themselves to joke around and be like, oh, like whatever. John Stamos, like, yeah, he's got great hair, but like I got you. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
that's what I'm saying. Like there's maybe,
but he was a catch and release.
Like, I'd be able to get there though. I'd be able to be like, yeah, like you know,
whatever.
I think, you know,
there's no fucking way that'd be in the backyard. There's maybe
I'd be able to
okay. There's how many people on Earth? 8 billion or something. So 4 billion dudes. There's maybe 5 people on the planet out of those 4 billion dudes that are secure enough to like joke around about it. So the odds are not in your favor is what I'm saying. No offense to you, Kelly.
But you're the one who like got to marry the girl. Like maybe sure, back to what Chief was saying about like he cast you aside, whatever. But that was like the 80s. Like people are everybody's doing drugs, everybody's drinking, everybody's hanging out and fucking in the 80s.
Which is so different than how it is now.
Yeah.
You could get over it.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like
nobody's doing drugs or
girls have sex too. You know, like they have their stories too.
Yeah.
It's okay to like.
I dated a girl who told me one time that she hooked up with an EPL player in Miami, and it bothered me. Like it bothered me.
Really?
Yeah. I got over it, but in the moment, like I don't need to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
That didn't like empower you.
So weird about that.
No.
I feel like maybe I'm just a nosy
because
person.
We're insecure. Okay.
I always want to know who people have hooked up with, like especially if it's like celebrity or something. Like maybe I get a little jealous, but I want to know so I can like bring it out in the open. Because I feel like if you're insecure about it or you don't want to talk about it, it becomes like then it's a problem. Then it's like, well, what's
I like
your problem?
knowing too.
What was that? The line from we talked about Titanic to start the show. The old lady, a woman's heart is like an ocean of secrets or something like that. Just dude, keep it that way.
Yeah,
Like I know you have a past.
Like
I don't need to know
I think
about
it's funny.
What?
I said only if, like I said, if it's like somebody, I think it's funny.
Okay.
But
it's like, all right, go to Office Space. Like, oh yeah, Lumberg fucked her. That would ruin my fucking life. I know Lumberg's Lumberg.
Yeah, that's different.
No,
though.
but like,
that's like someone you hate.
Lumberg
You don't want to know that.
But let's say it was like I'm trying to think of. The only guy that pops in my head that just makes it bad, but it's like they hooked up with Louis C.K. I'd be like, ha, like. Loser. Like that guy's not like if it's like a famous person who's not like astronomically better looking than I am, then I don't think I would care.
I think I'm on Chief's side right there.
Yeah.
I'm on Chief's side with that.
I guess.
I almost think of it the other way. It's like John Stamos is so unattainable where it's like, LOL, you got dumped by John Stamos. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're stuck with me because John Stamos didn't want your ass. Like it's almost like Like that's so ridiculous that it's funny.
Now we're getting to like, did you fuck John Stamos, or did you and John Stamos go out on a couple dates and he realized he didn't like you? That's a different thing.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Because it's like, are you still hung up on John Stamos? Like, if it's a thing where it's like, yo, we went out, we were in Vegas, you wouldn't believe it. Their tables were next to us, and like we stayed out late, and like one thing led to another. Like we were going back to him, like I ended up like that story. That's a story. That's funny. That's like a thing I don't know. But if you're like, hey, I like John Stamos, we matched together on Instagram, or he DM'd me, and like I met him after a show, and I sucked his dick, and then we went out for fucking coffee and stuff, and now it's getting weird.
Yeah.
All right, John Stamos off the board. Speaking of all this, now that the world's opening back up, so many new thrills are on the horizon, like possibly being Eskimo brothers with John Stamos. Whether you've been in a relationship for years or just getting started or excited to get back out there and meet new people, when the moment comes, you want to be ready, and you want to be Roman ready, Dave.
I was Roman ready all weekend in Iowa, Ed.
Were you?
Oh, yeah.
How did it work out?
It didn't, but
Okay.
I was ready. That's the whole point.
You weren't texting the girls come back to the mattress firm?
No, I wasn't. If you saw the clientele at the bar we were at, you would know why. But nevertheless, I was prepared in case that, stars aligned and I had to bring a girl back to the mattress firm.
There you go. Go to GetRoman.com/Barstool now to talk to U.S. licensed healthcare professionals. With Roman, you get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for erectile dysfunction, all from the comfort and privacy of your own home. Roman Ready equals confidence, the confidence that you know you can rise to the occasion in the moment. We're looking at the summer of love, which is 2021. I didn't know it was the summer of love. Is that true?
Why are you looking at me for?
You're the love guy.
Big time summer of love.
Why is it the summer of love?
Well, I mean, she was on a reality show.
Everybody's been cooped up for so long, and they're out. They're
That's
all their
not
inhibitions
love,
are down.
Kelly.
Don't care.
That's not love, Kelly.
It's love, Ryan. It's love.
I think it's more lust.
Yeah, that's lust.
So
And that's
I think
when you
it's a healthy
need
mix.
Roman swipes.
Yeah, Roman. Wow, this is for erectile dysfunction, David. You want to make sure you can participate in your way, whether that be a single person or a couple who would rather stay in with each other. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward, convenient, and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to GetRoman.com/Barstool and complete an online visit. Take care of your ED without leaving your home. Complete an online visit today to connect with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional and take care of it. Go to GetRoman.com/Barstool today and you're prescribed. Get 50% off your first month of ED treatment. Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this summer. Roman Ready.
Drink as much as you want responsibly and still get a hard dick.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. All right, back to me. I'm taking this. This is very 90s, and I think I'm going to stay in that vein for the rest of the show, maybe. But I Junior Floyd, I fucking wanted to be this kid, Devon Sawyer. I mean, that kid was like a stud.
I mean, if you're the quarterback,
Yeah,
you're automatically the fucking hot dude.
Yeah, I mean, he was
Yeah.
the guy in that Final Destination, Wild America. Like I could list it.
He was in a
on,
couple things.
Yeah,
Who else does he look like? Who did he get confused with all the time? Devon Sawa is like the type of guy you could just like put him in a room with like a handful of those guys from the 90s and they're just interchangeable.
Yeah, he was in Casper. He was in Now and Then, which is a great movie.
Casper
great
was a
soundtrack.
fantastic movie.
Was he in Little Giants?
He was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
he was Junior
quarterback.
Floyd. Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was like the main one. So
Oh, okay.
I really liked a lot of his movies as a kid, and yeah,
I mean, this is exactly the kind of pick that won't get voted on for how great it is, but
he
that's
was a 90s star, like-
exactly. He reeks 90s heartthrob.
yeah.
I mean, if we're getting really, really technical, he should have been like a first round pick, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
By definition, yes. Kelly, thoughts on Devon Sawyer?
I gotta be honest. I don't. He doesn't come to the top of my radar like at all. Like
No?
I recognize him as a person. I know the name. I can see him. He's like like you said, one of those guys that's like kind of around all the time. Now and Then was great. I believe Leo's in Now and Then as well. Yeah, I'm all right with that pick. I respect that you like it so much.
Yeah, I was just a big Devon Sawyer guy. Like,
He likes the quarterback.
Are you familiar with Little Giants, Kelly?
I've seen it. I remember seeing it when I was young, but I'm one of those people that has to watch a movie like 10 times for it to really sink in. So
How many times do you think you've seen Little Giants, Eddie?
Dude, I
100.
Were you triple
yeah.
digits?
cannot compute.
Yeah.
Cannot compute. Did you see Now and Then, Kelly?
Yeah, but that's another one that like I haven't seen it in a million years.
Oh,
I need like
that's
a refresher.
Sneaky best soundtrack ever.
Oh,
Very
yeah?
strong. Also, yeah, it's awesome. And Devon Sawa was in Stan, the music video.
Oh,
Eminem.
yeah.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Is he the
Full-
one who killed his?
Yeah, he played like the upset, like
He's
he was,
Stan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stan. So,
Great point. I forgot all about that.
so there you go. Yeah, 90s Heartthrob, Devon Sawa, White Sox, Dave, to you.
I'm going to go back to the boy band category, and they were the third best of the three big ones, I think. I'm going with Nick Lachey.
You motherfucker.
Nick Lachey.
Trash.
That was
How is that trash?
He's white
He married-
trash. He's white
He's
trash.
awesome.
Is what I'm saying.
He's just a cool dude. He's a huge sports fan. Like,
huge
but
Cincinnati fan.
I was. What was the TV show he was on with Jessica Simpson?
The Newlyweds.
The
Newlyweds.
Newlyweds. So I was on that realm. Illinois was playing Cincinnati in 2005-06 season. The season they were incredible. Went to the championship, and in the background of an episode, he was watching the game, and you could see like D Brown and Darren Williams and shit in the background of one of the episodes. I remember, but I mean, 98 Degrees, Jessica Simpson. He dated arguably the hottest of the hot.
He was super hot. He was
super hot.
She was,
Yeah.
I think, at like the what was the? It was probably 05 when that movie came out that she was in. That,
Boots were made for walking.
Yeah.
Music video,
like that's the hottest girl I've ever seen.
of all time.
Yeah.
perfect,
Yeah.
perfection.
Yeah. Why?
I think it won me the music video draft.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, it very well could have. When she holy fuck. But I mean, Nick Lachey tamed that beast.
She was a
Which is-
virgin.
Yeah,
Was she?
Yeah.
She was a virgin. Yeah, they were like
she was a virgin.
they were like very religious in that family.
Well,
Yeah, a little bit. For like
Ryan
a minute
Ryan
until
Phillippe.
they had the reality TV show and she was having sex with Nick Lachey. But yeah,
But as a married couple,
yeah.
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 You know that Nick Lachey, I say this every time Nick Lachey comes up. Present day, Nick Lachey owns like a shit ton of land in Ohio, I believe it is. And he has like, it's for the intent of mass producing marijuana because Ohio is supposed to legalize like weed growing and selling. And they didn't. So now he just has like all this shit waiting for weed to be legalized.
Yeah, but if they do, he's going to be like a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the story.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be so wealthy, but they keep like pushing it. It doesn't. It's looking bad for him right now. But maybe in like
If they make
10
it
years-
federally legal while he's waiting for the state,
To legalize
that
it.
would be a tough break.
That'd be a
very
bad
tough
beat.
break for Nick Lachey.
Who is it that you always argue with about that fact? Is it?
John Feilberg and
Okay.
I argue about it all the time.
Yeah.
Because he thinks that it's his fact that he throws around, and it's not. It's mine. I throw it around every time.
You know what though? It's just a good fact thrown out. I was ready to jump on it if you didn't jump in, so I'm glad
Yeah,
you did.
I was
'cause
gonna.
I don't want part of the fight.
Thank you, Eddie.
Not
for
a bad
stepping
Christmas
in.
album too. 98 Degrees.
You know, I bought a What's Left of Me. I think I bought a solo
Really?
back in the day. Yeah,
Okay.
good. Good one song, I guess. Nick Lachey, man. I don't know what there is to say besides that. He banged Jessica Simpson. Chief, you're up.
I'll take Joey Lawrence. So Joey Lawrence, I feel like that was another early 90s sitcom, heartthrob. Had the hair, the whoa, like the catchphrase that people, do you know that? Are you too young for that?
No, I watched Brotherly Love.
Okay.
And he wasn't quite the same heartthrob,
Yep.
but he would I know he had his day before that.
Okay. So yeah, I feel I think he is another guy that had to be drafted. I think there was he's probably in the same time frame as like Marky Mark in the underwear, that era before he was like a big actor. But yeah,
Definitely.
Joey Lawrence, I think that he deserves to be drafted. I think that's a good spot for him. And then my next one, I'm going with I had to Google his name as well, but Joshua Jackson. So Mighty Ducks.
Pacey.
Kelly's feeling that one. I always hated James Vanderbeek, and I don't know why, but I liked Pacey, and obviously the Mighty Ducks angle was great too. So Charlie Conway. So I'll take Josh Jackson in the first pick of the fourth round. What was your little reaction to Pacey?
Josh Jackson is so good, but you know what I love Joshua Jackson from so much? I mean, obviously like Dawson's Creek, whatever, but I love him. He's also in Cruel Intentions. He's
You're right.
like the guy who has to
Yeah.
introduce the like tough guy, like Gregory. Like he's just so good in everything he does. He's so charismatic in his face. It kills me. I think he's so cute.
Yeah, but he's not like too cute, right? Like he's not like overly.
No.
hot.
He's not like I wouldn't say he's
So
like
we have
cutesy.
hot,
I think
handsome,
he's,
and
like,
cute as the
Yeah.
categories.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say he's a good mix between like cute and hot. And he's like
Okay.
a little handsome, but more cute and hot. Like he's something about like his facial expressions. I don't know. I love his mannerisms.
I feel like I'm learning and I'm also confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's welcome. That's pretty much inside my brain. So
Okay.
welcome.
He does like TV shows now. I'm looking it up.
I feel like I haven't seen him in a long time. What kind of TV
Yeah, I
shows?
don't know
Dr.
if he's done a lot for a while. Wait, who did you pick right before him? I wanted to say something about that too. I
Joey
forget.
Lawrence.
Joey Lawrence. I was very obsessed. I don't know if you guys were too, with like the Lawrence brothers. Like they also had a series of brothers. I think there was like 3 or 4 of them, and they would pop up in other shows. And the youngest brother was on a Disney Channel show, The 13th Year, where he was like a mer child. I was obsessed with it. Like years later, I was very obsessed.
Dude,
with it. I think.
Disney got their money's worth on that younger Lawrence. That
Yeah, they
kid
really
was-
did. Yeah, he was in a bunch of shit, right?
everything.
Like,
He
he was
was in
everywhere.
everything. And I think he was also the voice of TJ Detweiler in Recess. I don't know.
I think you're right. Recess. What a great show.
Great show. Love the Recess.
Is this Matthew
Oh,
Lawrence or
that's-
Andrew Lawrence?
This is Andy, I believe.
Andy, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
He had a cool bedroom. It was a fine show. I think the bedroom.
What, Brotherly Love?
No, Recess.
Oh, Recess was great.
No, I'm thinking of Hey Arnold. Recess was
yeah.
a great show.
Recess.
Recess was a great show.
I mean, it was about recess.
You're
It was
right.
who didn't like recess?
Yeah.
Who didn't like
It was
recess?
it's like
That 20 minutes was the best time
Is it
of the
streaming
day.
anywhere?
Is
Check
that Disney
movie
Channel?
yeah,
If
it's on it's
Plus?
1,000% on Disney Plus.
It's gotta be, yeah.
Recesses.
What?
Yep.
Was all those shows, were all those shows on Disney? I know it was like one Saturday morning, but was that Disney?
Yes. It was well,
Thought it was like ABC.
it was ABC, but that is Disney. So
Oh
you're-
yeah, true. Yeah,
But
okay.
you're right.
Make your-
Yeah, so it's all on there. Recess, school's out. Actually, a decent movie, motion picture.
They made a movie.
They
yet.
did,
Did
yeah.
you go see it in theaters?
I did.
Absolutely, me too.
Fuck yeah, I did. I think it was a birthday party.
Double
type
feature,
deal.
Small Soldiers, Recess movie.
Small Soldiers is so good too.
That was a fucking great movie.
Chief, I gotta say it's early, but I like your list. You got a lot of. You're very 90s heartthrob. Like when you think of the word, you think of these guys.
I don't have like the Leo
The
Timberlake
cornerstone?
anchor. Yeah.
White Sox Dave.
I am at such a fucking crossroads with who I want to pick with this because I could go the easy route and it'd be just like a fucking, like, there'd be no convo around the pick, I don't think. Or I could try to swing for the fence and end the ball game because I think I got the best first 4 picks, 3 picks, whatever we got. But I'm going to go with eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch. I'm going to go with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Angels in the outfield. 10 things I hate about you.
Nerd.
All right, I'm interested for the cute, handsome, hot breakdown on this guy because I never.
He's the cute guy. He's the nice guy.
Understood the appeal of this guy.
Third rock from a sun. Come on, Dave.
He is, I would say, young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I wouldn't even put him in any of those categories. When he's in Third Rock from the Sun, I didn't think he was good looking at all. I think he had like weird hair. I thought he was a weirdo. Like his character was fine, but I didn't really like him at all. When he got much older, 10 Things I Hate About You was pretty good. But then
Pretty
like,
good. Are you
now-
kidding me? That movie
it's
was
good,
unbelievably
but I-
good.
But
He's
he
not
wasn't
like
even
that.
he
It's
wasn't
an
the
old-
hot
I
guy.
I was
in the
thinking
movie.
about taking what's his face, but
You hate him.
you hate him and he's like in nothing. Like he doesn't count for anything.
He was in that other movie. That other.
That's-
Like,
I mean, I'll be honest. I was sitting here praying you didn't take him because I'm about to take him.
Joey Donner.
Yes. Andrew Keegan is his name.
I had to
just
look
gonna
up his
take
name.
him.
He's not in
Nowhere,
fucking
so
Andrew
good.
Keegan. I was like, I need this guy on my list because
He's
he
not
was the
dead.
guy where I was like, he's the guy. Like that guy.
Oh,
if
he
I
was the
could-
guy where you said that's
yeah,
the
I was
guy?
like, that guy's just like.
I did a
It
blog.
must be nice to be him, you know. Like he just
very hot.
he held up the pictures of the black T-shirt
Yeah.
and the white T-shirt. It's like looks great in both, and he just I don't know. I was always like, man, that guy's got it figured out.
Yeah, he was, again, Camp Nowhere? I
Camp
think he's in
Nowhere, yeah.
with,
That's the other thing,
Christopher Lloyd. That's a fantastic movie. He's
He's another
super
great
hot
jerk. Yeah,
and
Andrew
would
Keegan.
makes him great for this draft, that is he didn't do shit after.
Yes.
What do you mean he didn't do shit after?
Andrew Keegan?
Andrew Keegan. I thought you were talking about my pick again. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I couldn't take him.
Was he in that John Tucker Must Die too? Was he the guy?
That's a fucking great movie.
Who, Andrew
No.
Keegan,
That's not him.
We're crossing our wires here.
Okay.
No, yeah.
I just took Andrew
They'd be
Keegan.
too old for John Tucker Must Die. That's Jesse Metcalf and Dan
But they're the
Humphrey,
same guy.
real name.
Brittany Snow.
Brittany Snow, so hot. Oh my
Super
god,
hot.
she's gorgeous.
Ridiculously hot.
I
Obsessed
think
with
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's not a great pick. I got to be honest, Dave. And I love my Andrew Keegan pick. So.
But Andrew Keegan's like, he's a nobody.
But he was the 90s heartthrob.
If this, but this is going to be a picture graphic, obviously. His face is going to play.
It'll play, but
you
it's
like
not as
him,
good a
Kelly.
pick.
Come on.
I love Andrew Keegan. I think he is smoking hot.
You didn't
He is
even
just
know
in,
his
like, the hot
name
category.
before Eddie
Joseph
brought it up.
Gordon-Levitt, I'd say like he's great, but he's way more personality based. He's like I wouldn't even put him on the board for younger version. Once he gets older, he's cute and sort of handsome now, I think. Great personality.
Good actor.
Such a great bully. And then he played a good, nice guy in Camp Nowhere. Carl, I know you appreciate that movie. I love that movie.
That's so good.
I really like both those movies. So I really always liked Andrew Keegan. So he was the guy, dude.
I wrote a blog.
I'm
It was
shocked
one of the
he's still
very
not
first
big.
blogs we wrote when we went full time, and I was just a ranking of who I want to punch the most on the planet, and Joey Donner was number one, the most punchable fucking human of all time. Like, I just want to punch him right in the
In the
nose.
black t-shirt or the white t-shirt?
Take your pick. Take your pick. And I'm glad that what's her name in the movie? I'm glad she did. And he had to shoot the next day.
Yeah, that's a great movie. All right, so Joseph Gordon-Levitt is Dave's pick. Andrew Keegan is my pick. Kelly, you're up.
Okay. This is another one where I'm taking a little bit of a risk. If people know how big this person was, then they'll really appreciate this pick. If not, I don't know. I'm going Ricky Martin.
That was who I was eating, meaning, miny, mowing with.
Ricky
Martin was
Let me tell you, Kelly.
spicy as fuck.
He has a bad trajectory on this draft. He has a bad history on this draft. He was taken, and
Why?
Dante took him once, and it got like no love. But
Dante. I mean, if he could go back in time, he'd tell you that was a horrendous
pick.
pick. Yeah.
Well, what did he pick it for? What did he pick him for?
It was
we did a
music.
90s music draft, and he got like one teeny bopper, like one like whatever, and he picked him as his male artist or whatever
Yeah.
for the 90s.
I wouldn't say he's like number one. That's why he's kind of low on my list. But the hype behind Ricky Martin, like, and this might be a thing where I was just like a young girl growing up in like a white ass town, and all of a sudden like spicy Ricky Martin came in, and we were like, Ricky Martin, and it's just like he would like, oh my god, hit him on TV, the Bailamo, holy shit, that man was hot, and I just we were dying. Me and my friends all died over him.
He had the exotic Latin appeal, the bleach tips with
Yes,
it. Yeah.
like he was. I think probably the first like Latin man, maybe him and Enrique Iglesias, like the only guys that were like Latin at the time that I was like, holy shit, what is this life that I know nothing about, and I need to know everything about it now.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good looking guy.
Yeah, he is.
He got in trouble for something.
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think so.
In trouble? I don't think so.
He came out as gay, like, and that was a huge deal because that was when you didn't
That was
do
a big
that.
deal.
Yeah.
That was a huge deal.
That was
I remember
years
that at the
ago.
time. I remember
Yeah,
like
that was,
being,
like,
being
years and years
heartbroken
ago.
at the time. Like, oh, now I don't have a chance with Ricky Martin.
You can't
As
swing
if
him.
I ever did.
You can't just swing him, Kelly. Swing him back.
I mean, you never know. He's never spent any time with me, so you
Yeah,
never know.
exactly.
Ricky
Okay.
Martin, if you're feeling
Wait, did you just say Bailamos?
Bailamos, we dance.
All right, you guys are assholes. That's Enrique Iglesias.
Is it? Fuck.
He's living.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
living.
he's li-
living
yeah.
La Vida Loca.
yeah.
Oh,
Listen,
Kelly.
I got them both on my brain right now. I got them both
I
on my
kind of
brain.
think you should have
Ricky
taken
Martin was
Enrique
first.
Iglesias.
You can't. I mean, I think if you're taking Ricky Martin, you're based. I was gonna say, fuck it, we're in there now. I was gonna say the problem with Ricky Martin is he got dominated by Enrique Iglesias. Because like Ricky Martin to me was like Walmart Enrique Iglesias.
Ooh.
That to me is just so disrespectful.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I just
He was
can't
yes.
even-
You're starting to fill out a type now. I like this. Mark Wahlberg, Ricky Martin. Like these are. You know what you're getting from these guys. That's for sure.
I think Kelly's the leader.
Stallions, if you will.
She's got DiCaprio and Stamos.
Couple jackhammers.
Yeah.
Carl, you're up.
I'm closing this out. I'm gonna take. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why he hasn't been drafted. Why has Brad Pitt not been taken? I'll take Brad Pitt.
I think.
yours.
I mean,
Good one.
I think it's a
The full range for him is there too. The early stuff in the early 90s, and even like when he went bad boy hot dude is like 1999 Fight Club.
I think he is smoking hot in Fight Club.
Yeah, I guess it's like really how you interpret the word heartthrob.
Because like
Exactly.
Andrew Keegan to me is super hot, but like how much? Like,
He didn't do shit. Brad Pitt did everything.
does it suck that Brad Pitt did stuff?
I think
I
he's just
don't
so
think,
he's a
like-
full grown adult.
Yeah, like
You
I
know?
don't think when I think of Heartthrob, I think of the people who are on the cover of like my sister's 17 magazine. Like that's
Yeah.
I don't think that's Brad Pitt.
Right.
He got
I
featured
do think
sometimes.
I think Brad. I had Brad on my list, but he's another one too. I had him in the same vein of like George Clooney, who I think is great also. But yeah, like you said, he's just kind of he's such a mega star that like I don't know. Everybody's been talking about Brad Pitt for like 30 years.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah, like he did 7 in 1995, and I feel like he was like,
He was a detective in the movie,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a full grown adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
That's a
can-
great movie too, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
Great,
Fantastic movie.
great movie.
So, but he's when I think 90s heartthrobs. I do think Brad Pitt. Now maybe that's I'm older, but okay. Last one. I mean, see now I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna stay in my lane here. I'm gonna take Brendan Fraser.
that's
He's a good one too. George of the Jungle.
that was. Hey, I have a forfeit on the board.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no,
gonna
no,
go.
no. I know. Okay, so that's a little. I'll take Brendan Fraser back. I'll just explain why I'm giving Brendan Fraser a shout out. What is wrong with the course?
Someone keeps kicking shit.
I haven't moved my feet.
All right,
Okay.
explain your Brendan Fraser. shout
No,
out.
I can take him off the board. I just wanted to give Brendan Fraser a good shout out because the guy who makes a graphic every week, Ken Jack, is
Yeah.
obsessed with Brendan Fraser.
LCB.
Absolutely obsessed with Brendan Fraser. I'll take him back. Do you guys?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was a joke pick.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I'm gonna fucking. I'm gonna take Hugh Grant. I love Hugh Grant.
Great one.
I'm so old, but I don't care. I got the silver.
I love Hugh Grant too.
Yeah,
Hugh Grant is
he's
fantastic.
good. He's very good, and I think Notting Hill is severely underrated. So
yeah, I agree.
thank you,
Hugh
Kelly.
Grant is he's another one who's like I wouldn't say he's just as I mean I don't know, is he as famous as Brad Pitt and George Clooney? Hugh Grant, do we think?
I think they're above him, but they're all I would say A-list types.
For sure. I think that he slips better into this 90s thing than the two of them. I like him very much.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hugh Grant. Yeah,
Very
you just went a different route with your draft.
Yeah, I mean,
You took you got like 90s like stars.
well, when you say heartthrobs, it's like who makes my heart throb? And
No,
it's like,
I know. That's what I'm saying. It was up
personally,
for
I
interpretation.
just love Hugh Grant.
he was the one who was married to the girl from Austin Powers. I'm blanking on her name right now.
Heather Graham?
Elizabeth Hurley.
Or no,
Heather
Elizabeth
Graham?
Hurley, yeah.
Elizabeth Hurley. They're both British. And then he
Yep.
got caught with a prostitute in a car, like I think somewhere in LA, and then they got divorced. So kind of messed that one up. Do you guys ever seen the prostitute? Like
Oh,
yeah.
There's like you look at the story.
What's she look like?
Seen better. Doesn't look like Elizabeth Hurley. We'll say that.
Elizabeth
Not even
Hurley's hot.
close.
He didn't write her a check, right? Who did that?
Oh, that's how they got caught?
No, someone. I forget who it was. Someone was.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
He bounced a check to a prostitute.
yeah. I forgot who did that. Yeah. Kelly, you're up.
Okay. I think I feel pretty confident about this pick. I'm thrilled nobody's chosen him. I'm upset with myself for not choosing him sooner. Luke Perry, Dylan McKay, 90210.
I never saw that show, so that didn't
My mom
come.
was obsessed with it, so I would see it by default.
Wow. You never saw 90210? Oh,
No, I think that was one of those shows I was not allowed to watch.
What was the difference between 90210 and Melrose Place?
they were.
You know what?
basically-
I
Those
think
are the
you've seen
same
the show.
shows. Those are the same shows.
I think
I
you've
would
seen the
think
show.
I was asking
Me?
Kelly
Yeah.
because she's watched them.
That was,
Sorry.
like home stuff.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat the answer? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, sure. I think that Melrose Place was more like party stuff, and 90210 was more of like growing up and like troubles growing up and meeting down at the at the Peach Pit, the diner, and it was more like a little more wholesome. I want to say maybe. I might be wrong, but I feel like that's how I
Like
interpret it.
Melrose Place would have like a drug overdose.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think 90210 maybe later years would too, but early on it was very like, oh, it's the Walsh family and like Dylan is troubled and there's all kinds. It was a little more family oriented at the beginning.
Yeah, same thing. I never got into it either, so I don't really remember him.
I feel like that was like I'm 35, and I feel like those shows were before my time. You watched those?
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
on 90 to 95 was like 90210's prime time. Like
Okay.
that was when it was on. But the Luke Perry, he's been all over the place, but he passed away unexpectedly a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
He played the dad to Archie in Riverdale. For people that watch Riverdale present day, that might just be me, but that's like another like kind of a CW soap opera type show with like dramatic shit going on. But he played the dad there, and that's a show that like Mark Consuelos is on, and like Molly Ringwald, and like the older crew. They like got a lot of people from a lot of the 90s like soap opera type shows and put them in there. So it was really sad when he passed away.
Damn, that is sad.
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah,
sad.
he's-
God damn.
But also he's so hot and he was a bad boy, so love him.
All right, Luke Perry off the board. So me, I need one more. I mean, I guess I got to go with this. It's kind of a rough family. They've had rough times recently, but I mean, if I'm gonna have the anchor of NSYNC, I gotta have the anchor.
You're
of
such a fucking
Backstreet
loser.
Boys.
You are
Why?
such a loser. You cheated off this test.
How?
You cheated off this test.
What do you
talking
mean?
You
about?
saw me Googling his fucking Wikipedia page so I could have
You want to
all
look at my screen right now? You
Yeah,
wanna look
after
at
I did it.
Is it
Eddie stole a pick, he cheated on the
Which Carter
test.
are you taking? Which
Nick.
one? Nick.
Of course he's taking
Dude,
Nick.
why would I ever want anything that you have?
Well, you saw me. I'm looking at my computer, Eddie. You cheated on the test.
I did not.
You cheated on the test.
No, it's fucking blatant. Like Nick Carter going in the 5th round is a steal of the century.
You cheated on this test.
I did not.
You absolutely did.
No, I'm look. You want to
If I didn't pick Luke Perry, I would have picked Nick Carter. It was between the two of them for me.
You can have Aaron Carter.
Look at my list. I
Take
got
Aaron
3
Carter.
people left, and he's one of them. So take it back.
Well, I'm going to steal your pick next.
Well, all right, go for it then. If you got no one left, but yeah, Nick Carter. I mean, Nick Carter and JT. Like, what? How did I get that?
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Carter was a stud.
Go through yours again. Who you got?
Timberlake, Mario Lopez, Devon Sawyer, Andrew Keegan, Nick Carter.
Powerful list.
Good list.
The problem with Nick Carter is he's a fucking douchebag. So
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna play. The rest of those guys are pretty cool.
You said that like an uncle.
Well,
Yeah, you did. You sounded like the oldest man in the world.
Well, you know what, Kelly? I'm an old soul in some
Oh, my
respects.
days.
I will say this. I do think that he was sexy and he was handsome. Obviously good enough to launch his brother's short-lived, very disastrous career, but nevertheless good enough to launch it. He really wasn't anything. Like, there's a reason Backstreet fell apart and they do those shitty reunion tours and, like, Justin Timberlake's
Ooh,
worldwide
they
tour.
are not shitty. Those reunion
not
tours
shitty at
are not shitty at all. They're awesome.
They make so much money.
Yeah.
And Nick Carter's like the best singer now. So Nick Carter on those reunion shows, he like crushes it.
Hey, I got a question for producer Tom over here. How'd you like that cover band you saw last week? So there's this cover band. I don't know like how big they are on a like Midwest scale, but they're called boy band, and they dress up prototypical 90s shit. They bleach tip their hair and they have all the dance routines down. They go to this bar we go to, Joe's on Weed, a couple times a year, and I always make sure to see him. They are unbelievable, and the like Nick Carter looking dude just absolutely kills it.
Riding the Tough
Yeah.
Girls.
It's not Tough Girls. No, their band's called Boy Band.
Bench press machine.
But Kelly, if you're ever in Chicago when they're here, you're coming.
That
You'd love
sounds
it.
amazing. I feel
Yeah,
like I
it's
gotta schedule
amazing.
a trip.
Come on down, Kelly. You love him.
All right, Nick
No,
Carter.
but seriously.
Feel great about that in the 5th round. White Sox, Dave, you're up.
That obviously was my pick until Ed was, looking
Looking
at my
over your shoulders,
Scantron.
doing it right now.
I know.
We'll
he
have
is.
to. I mean, we have everybody on camera. We can see if he's.
That is
glancing
true.
over.
And I want that
All right,
noted.
so every time I look at you, it's going to have me looking at
I mean,
his
Dave, you're just not.
computer.
You're just like compared to Ed. You're so bad at this. So to
It's not true. It's
Yeah,
not true.
It's actually very true.
I was trying to get 5th round
I
value.
think he's addicted to doing investigations.
That is true. I fucking killed the last investigation.
You can't just
I did.
investigate anything you want, Dave.
I can investigate whatever I want. That's why I got the detective bolo tie at the Western store a couple weeks ago. That granted me the
It broke
ability.
that though.
That's why you're going
It's
to do
still in
some
the pocket,
training with
though.
your bodyguard, Gus, so you could get licensed. In
I told that
bonded.
about Gus. He's getting on the dog walk.
Coming on the dog
He
walk.
called me, yeah. That's when it's worth a call. Dave's excited.
Hey, when you're out with White Sox Dave and he's talking to someone, he's going, "I can't wait to put this guy on a dog walk with
Well, I
Ed."
appreciate that.
You
This
know it's
guy
a good night.
Is gonna be electrifying.
Okay,
on
who
the
we
dog
taking
walk.
here?
Yeah, what's the pick?
I want to make sure this doesn't get vetoed because it's not one person; it's 3 people.
All right, here
I'm
we
going
go.
with Hanson.
You can't take Yes, you can take Hanson.
I have to be able to take Hanson,
And
right? They're a
like,
package deal.
He stole Hanson off my.
I didn't. I've had Hanson on my list the entire day.
Dave wants to get
Uh,
kicked out.
I-
Hey, look where they are. They're number one.
I don't know if you can take.
Why can't you?
Because then why wouldn't Eddie just be like, I'm taking In Sync. I'm taking.
But it's so much different. You like they're Hanson.
Dave,
can
can you name all 3 Hanson brothers?
I mean,
Can you name one Hanson
I could have
brother?
named Taylor.
One?
I could have named Taylor, but I looked. So Isaac, and then
Keep looking.
I mean, I looked.
She's asking if you can name
This
him.
has been there's been multiple instances today where you had to look up the actual name of the dude.
Surprised you didn't take Frank Thomas here.
He's a heartthrob. But I mean, they're like the hot looking, little 15-year-old kids. That sounds very bad. But I was also like 12 when they were at their peak, so it's not.
Okay, so they still tour. I worked with someone who's like really into Hanson. She would go to like 10 Hanson shows a year.
Still?
Swear to God.
Yikes.
Swear to God. Like they're still putting out original music.
She just sits
So-
there for 3 minutes of him bopping.
Bro, no, Mbap's an old classic. Like they put out original. They're still on tour. Check
When
them
we
out.
drafted Carnival acts last week and we all went through the musical acts, some dude was at a state fair and Hanson was playing. He's like, dude, this should have been picked. I'm like, that would have been an awesome fucking pick. Because no, that's what they're doing now. They're playing in front of 8,000 people at Cedar Rapids County Fair, shit like that.
Hey, no disrespect to Cedar Rapids either. It's a very nice town. Kelly, where did Hanson fit for you for like a 90s boy band? Were they a rock band too? Did you like them?
They were Hanson for me. I liked them very much. They were a little young for me. Like the youngest one, I think, is Isaac. Maybe is the youngest one, and that was like a little weird. But I liked Zach. Zach
Not
was
too
my
young for
my
Dave.
fave Hanson brother. But
I
just
think-
I wasn't obsessed with them like I was obsessed with other people.
I think Mbop might be out of all the boy bands. I mean, they were by far a distant, they were not even close to NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. But I think Mbop might have been the best song of all of those bands.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Like if you still
Mbop.
play Mbop at a party and you hear the doom doom,
Oh, yeah. It gets
and
you going.
like the whole crowd goes wild.
And everybody knows every word.
Every word.
Yeah.
Does anybody veto Hanson?
I'm not going to veto it.
I'm not going to veto it.
Yeah, you can keep it. We're feeling good listening to Mbop. Keep it. You keep it,
You
Dave.
keep it, David. Chief, Mr. Irrelevant, the final pick of this draft.
All right, I'm down to 2, and I think one of them's Tony Danza, but I feel like he might be more 80s. Like Who's the Boss? I looked it up. Ended in its last season was 92, and so I feel like he might be more 80s. But I love Tony Danza. Shout out Tony Danza. So I'm taking Usher. So another one, like he was, obviously a huge musical hit, and then he was in. The one with Freddie Prinze Jr.
He was in, She's All That.
She's All That. Yeah, so he was in that. He was in, I think he might have been in a
He's
couple
also
horror
in The
movies.
Faculty.
I don't think
I've
I've
never
seen
seen
The
that one.
Faculty.
Faculty low-key has the most star-studded cast of any movie ever.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Okay, so Faculty is showing at Music Box.
Is it really?
Love
yes,
Music Box.
for Halloween they have it in 35 millimeter,
I fucking love that movie.
and I'm the coach. Who else is in it, Ed?
John Stewart's in it.
That's a random one.
Yeah. So hold on. Let me just. So
It's worth googling.
Jordana Brewster, Josh Hartnett. Fuck, we missed him.
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, that's a miss.
Is he
I was-
90s? I thought he was more 2000s.
Black Hawk Down, 1998.
That was 98?
It was, yeah, and
think so.
He hated
99.
California and the lifestyle so much. He just fucking said, "Fuck this, I'm out," and he was never going to be in a movie again. Now he teaches acting in Minnesota.
Robert Patrick, Salma Hayek, Elijah Wood, Usher, and it's a crazy cast, but whatever. Besides the point.
But a good movie.
Yeah, I love the movie. It's stupid, but it's cool. It's like a fun
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, it's a great take on alien invasion.
Yeah, great take. Have you seen it, Kelly?
I don't know if I have. Say the name of it again.
The Faculty.
No, I don't think you were just listing off those people and it sounded familiar for a second, but I don't think I've ever seen that.
You'd
I gotta
enjoy
watch
it. It is like a perfect 90s
It
thriller.
really is. It really.
I
is.
love like a 90s thriller type movie. I'm writing it down. You know what I want to? We're like everybody's picks are all done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's
I
honorable
want to
mention.
a shout out to this person who I think fell into that, like they're too famous now to have put on, but they were a sneaky heartthrob in the 90s. Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Because he was.
I thought because he was in Clueless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Almost-
was thinking about, but I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think
Yeah.
about him more now.
I had
than
Will
back then.
Smith on my list for that reason.
Yeah.
Like he's just so famous. He doesn't
Yeah.
count to me.
He's a good one too.
James Vanderbeek, I think, would have been a good pick.
I just don't. I don't.
I like Varsity Blues is like my favorite.
I don't
football
want your laugh.
He was the last one on my
Paul
list.
Walker would have been a good pick, but I thought Fast and the Furious is too big into the 2000s.
Yeah.
But Paul
He was-
Walker
yeah.
is fucking hot.
Varsity Blues.
And then I actually loved Pierce Brosnan. Loved him as James Bond, all that stuff. But he was just too skippy.
Hot jambalaya.
Yeah, it was just.
Sorry.
Is that Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire when he adds all the like paprika and chili powder.
Yeah.
Chris Klein. Remember him?
No.
He was Oz Striker in American Pie.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, you just love American Pie.
I do. It's one of my favorite movies.
That
Top
is like
10?
your favorite
Oh,
decade
dude, we
for
should,
movies. I feel like.
It's basically that's Eddie's favorite. Like the way someone's like, "Oh, I like westerns," or "I like slash
Yeah.
them up." Eddie's like, "I like coming of age movies that happened between 1996 and 2003."
What about Thomas
You
Ian
nailed
Nicholas,
me.
Kelly? From American Pie. That's
I
Kevin.
have to look that up. What's
Kevin.
his name?
He's dating Tara Reid in American Pie.
Oh, I love him.
Henry
He-
Rowengartner.
Yeah.
We
He's
got
an
to
electric-
interview him randomly with Chris Bryant two summers ago.
We got
That's so weird. I put him in the category of like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but I think is better looking than Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, definitely
That's a
better
good
looking.
analogy.
Yeah.
He's not a big guy.
No, he's like my
No.
height and scrawny. Yeah.
The other one I
got
had on
banned.
here that I didn't feel comfortable taking because I thought he got too big was Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Like Johnny Depp. I think Crybaby came out in the 90s. So he was like, I feel like when he was
Edward
younger.
Scissorhands.
Yeah.
That is Johnny Depp making me cry.
Didn't you ask after the interview, like off camera, like, "Hey, do you still got the brochure to the tongue tornado?"
Yeah, I asked him all those questions, and he answered them like
No, but you actually
very,
wanted-
very truthfully.
Really?
Like I asked him, like, so what was it like? Did you like actually hook up with Tara Reid? He's like, we were like 18 years old, and we were butt ass naked in the bed, and I had never done a sex scene before, and it was very awkward.
I bet
I'm
you.
sure.
You would have thought the movie like just came out when Dave was talking to this guy. Like Dave's like, so then what happened next?
Didn't
Guy's like, geez, he's going deep
I
into
would
the
love
archives.
He told us like there was like they took a bunch out of the script. Like he was supposed to be some like broken human because his parents just got divorced, and that's why he was using what was Tara Reid's name in the movie?
Fuck. What's her name?
Becky.
No.
It's not Becky.
Does it start with a V?
Vicky.
yeah. It
is
Vicky.
Vicky.
Close.
Vicky. And that's why he was like using her and telling her I loves her and like lying to her.
And then didn't you ask him about
Bad example
Stifler
for
drinking his
kids.
cum?
Yeah, he said it was just like some sugar mixture.
It
or
wasn't
something.
cum?
It was not actually cum. I'm like, what is
So
it like?
mad.
What was it like to drink Stifler's, or for Stifler to drink your spooch?
It was the director's load.
It wasn't actually my spooch. It was all inside.
The director
Vicky.
demanded the shot be put in.
Any other honorable mentions?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised no one took any athletes.
Eugene Levy.
Who would be an athlete?
I don't know, but I'm just
I was,
surprised there's no
I was just going to
athletes.
ask athlete wise, do we think that David Beckham falls in there? When did he and Victoria Beckham get together.
I think it's like 03.
That was after Spice Girls, right?
Yeah, so he was with Man U in the 90s for sure, like 96. And then I think he became like a mega star like in the 2000s.
Michael Jordan killed all of them. There's no, like, to me, if you were an athlete in the 90s, like, you can't really be a heartthrob. All I can go back to is just like Michael Jordan. So I don't know. I can't really think. Baseball players were like all roided up.
Yeah.
Like you could make an argument for Derek Jeter if you were from New York.
Yeah,
I
that
suppose.
would have been a good
Jeter
one.
would be a good one.
A-Rod too. A-Rod counts, I think. They were
No.
both pretty hot.
A-Rod?
Yeah, people thought A-Rod was hot.
Yeah, when
Really?
he was young.
Oh yeah, young
Yeah,
A-Rod was
really?
smoking hot. Fucking 6'4",
I guess.
yoked up,
But like
smooth.
but like I think of Jeter as that guy.
You know who was kind of hot too when he was younger? Tino Martinez. I just had to look
Interesting.
up.
I always remember watching Yankees games when I was younger and thinking this guy has like the smoothest, prettiest swing. Not named Ken Griffey Jr. I don't know why.
And
I shot that.
what about his bat speed? Did he have good
It
bat
was just
speed?
like it just looked pretty. It was
Eddie
like
loves
aesthetically
Tino.
pleasing.
Yeah. Dion's a nice looking man. Griffey.
Dion, Griffey.
Griffey could have been a good heartthrob, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Noma?
Nomar seems.
Did we
ugly
say
to me.
Jeter? Did someone say
Yeah,
Jeter?
someone
Yeah,
said
we talked
Jeter.
about Jeter.
Jeter would have been the
I'm trying to think of like
Sure.
quarterbacks from that
Put it on
era.
the list.
I can't think of
100%.
any because they were all like roided
Dan
up
Marino
and-
looked like a guy who
was
broke
Dan-
up your
Dan-
dad's marriage.
It was
Yeah.
a leather football at that point.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just rubbing aloe vera on the skin.
Yeah,
just trying to
exactly.
keep another day in the sun.
Dan Marino ruined a lot of marriages, I bet.
I bet you Dan
Allegedly,
Marino
it's a
did.
joke. I'm sorry, Dan. Kelly, any more?
I want to give another quick shout out to the entire cast of 90210. Like I have almost all of them here. I have Jason Priestley. I have Ian Ziering. Like I'm sad that you guys weren't that into it, but they were all very, very sexy.
What was
Jason-
the teacher's name in Boy Meets World? Remember
Mr.
that?
Feeney?
Yeah,
No,
Mr. Feeney.
no, the cool guy.
Oh, that
yeah.
hot teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember. He was so hot though.
See, that's
You like that guy,
He
huh?
had that great hair, and he was like, yeah, he was
So-
hot as shit.
I think his
Yeah.
name was Jeff.
All right, I'll name it down one more time, then we'll get out of here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What about
one
Heath
more.
Ledger? Would that
One
have
more.
counted?
This one's important to me too.
Who?
We were just out there. How the fuck did nobody say Kevin Costner? Kevin Costner's so nice.
I mean,
But he
he's-
was more 80s.
I would say,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dances with Wolves.
That was in the 90s.
Best Picture.
Was that 90s?
Yeah, it was 90s.
Come on, Dave, get dusted.
But like Bull Durham, it was 80s. Field of Dreams was 80s.
No, it wasn't.
It was 89. We looked it up.
91.
It was 89.
Damn it. But Kevin Costner, Waterworld.
I love Kevin Costner. He's like JFK
High-produced
was in the 90s too. I love Kevin Costner, but he's like
Yeah, it was
too old.
89.
Like he's an adult. So
Carl, Forfeit, George Clooney, Mark Paul Gosselaar, Brad Pitt, Hugh Grant, Kelly, Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Wahlberg, John Stamos, Ricky Martin, Luke Perry, Eddie, Justin Timberlake, Mario Lopez, Devon Soya, Andrew Keegan, Nick Carter, White Sox Dave, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Ryan Phillippe, Nick Lachey, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Hanson, Chief, Freddie Prinze Jr., Ryder Strong, Joey Lawrence, Joshua Jackson, Usher. Fun nostalgic draft, everybody.
who do you think?
Me.
They're great lists.
I honestly don't know. Like, it's just gonna depend who hits with who with the vote. Like you
Yeah.
know, it's just there's a lot of different ways.
I think it's between you and Kelly.
You think so? Mm-hmm. We'll see.
As a guy who's won 27 of these, I think I really do like Kelly's, but I also like mine. So we'll see.
What's your favorite one? For the forfeit?
I don't mind a forfeit in the first round overall. Like people understand. Somebody had to
playing
drive. Someone
4
had
and
to
5.
drive the UConn. Was it
Kelly,
Dallas
thank
or
you for
Jared?
hopping on. It was great to have you.
Thank you guys for having me. I felt so prepared. So I appreciate that.
There you go. And thank you to our probably the most females we'll ever have listen to the show. I assume, right?
I think it's going to be about the same.
I think that'll be about
Yeah.
the same. Because this hits for guys too.
Yeah. All right. That's it, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.